Polymelia. Polymelia is an extremely rare genetic condition where individuals are born with additional limbs. While these extra limbs are often deformed or unusable, there are exceptions. For instance, Lali Singh from India was born with a second face, complete with functioning lips, eyes, and a mouth that blinked and moved independently. Similar to Deepak Palwan, people flocked to her, believing she was an incarnation of a deity, given Hindu depictions of gods with multiple features. Doctors later identified these features as remnants of a parasitic twin absorbed in the womb. Although Lali's additional face wasn't causing harm, her family decided to opt for surgery, allowing her to lead a normal life. Myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy. This condition bestows affected individuals with enhanced muscle strength and mass due to a mutation in the MSTN gene. One striking case is that of Richard Sandrak, also known as Little Hercules. By the age of 8, he had abs and biceps resembling that of a bodybuilder, performing push-ups with his father on his back. His unique musculature was not the result of exercise alone, but a genetic predisposition that prevented the usual inhibition of muscle growth. While this condition offers no significant health complications, cases like Richard's remain rare. Hyperthymestic syndrome. People with hyperthymesia have a memory akin to a living diary, recalling minute details of specific days. Brad Williams, a radio host from Wisconsin, is often called the human Google. He remembers not only personal events, but historical trivia down to the weather on specific dates. However, the inability to control these vivid memories can make everyday life overwhelming. Like other hyperthymestic individuals, Brad can recall a random lunch from years ago, but might struggle with intentional memorization. This rare gift has also been studied in Jill Price, whose vivid recollection of traumatic events has made letting go of the past a lifelong challenge. Stone Man Syndrome. Known medically as fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, this devastating disorder transforms soft tissues into bone. An example is Hope Spinato, who started experiencing symptoms in childhood after a minor injury. As with others diagnosed with this condition, simple falls caused abnormal bone growth, which immobilized her over time. Removing these bones surgically is futile, as they regenerate aggressively. The disease is so rare that fewer than 1 in 2 million people are affected globally. Savant syndrome. Often associated with autism, savant syndrome allows individuals to display extraordinary abilities. One example is Alonzo Clemens, who can sculpt animals with stunning detail after only seeing a brief glimpse of them. Despite having limited cognitive skills in other areas, Alonzo's artistic talent amazes researchers and the public alike. Savants typically excel in specific tasks such as mathematics, memory, or music, but often struggle socially, making their lives uniquely challenging. Congenital insensitivity to pain. Imagine never feeling pain, no matter the injury. This condition, known as SEPA, affects 1 in 25,000 people worldwide. A well-known case is that of Ashlyn Blocker, who, despite suffering severe burns as a child, never shed a tear. People with SEPA feel no physical pain, but are prone to severe injuries and infections, often leading to premature death. Interestingly, a cluster of cases has been identified in the Navajo Nation, prompting studies into its genetic basis. Tetrachromacy. Imagine seeing millions of colors invisible to the average human eye. Some individuals, like artist Conchetta Antico, are tetrachromats, possessing a fourth cone cell that expands their visual spectrum. While most people struggle to differentiate between subtle shades, Conchetta claims she sees a rainbow of hues in what others perceive as gray. Scientists believe tetrachromacy may be linked to genetic mutations found in less than 1% of the population. Trichodento-Osseous syndrome. Individuals with this rare disorder often have bones so dense they can break solid objects without effort. A documented case is 10-year-old Peter Dunlop, who once cracked a baseball bat by swinging it lightly. However, brittle teeth and nails often plague these individuals, despite their otherwise superhuman traits. Research into this condition aims to provide breakthroughs for osteoporosis treatments. Hyperlexia. If a child can fluently read advanced texts at an early age, but struggles with comprehension, they may have hyperlexia. Dylan Layton, a 3-year-old from the UK, could decode sentences far beyond his peers, but had difficulty forming social connections. While it's linked to autism in many cases, hyperlexia remains poorly understood, with experts working to identify the neurological basis behind it. Vampire syndrome. Also called hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, This condition causes pointed teeth, pale skin, and thin frames. Take Casimir, a teenager from Poland, who must avoid sunlight and manage his body temperature carefully due to an absence of sweat glands. Unlike the vampire myth, people with this condition face real challenges that impact their day-to-day life but have no connection to folklore.